live look from SkyCal as we're looking at the area right in front of the Japanese Village Plaza. Before I get into what you're looking at here, I want you to look at the right side of your screen because that happened earlier. This was in South LA when we first got over this chase. That is when we saw 3 suspects get out of a white Mercedes. They tried to get into another black car right behind them. Unsuccessful. The Mercedes keeps rolling down as 2 suspects then jump back in that Mercedes. A 3rd suspect, we believe, in that gray hoodie. It just bolts it down the street. That is when the Mercedes takes off with a sheriff's deputy right behind it. That all happening in South LA. I would say maybe about 30 minutes ago, Ross. This
is where it ended.
Over at the Japanese Village Plaza, you see that vehicle. It hit that Volkswagen. That is when we did see a crowd of people at the mall, some shoppers, probably diners, just bolting through this area.
I mean, look at that. These people running in terror. We still don't know whether the 2 suspects that jumped out of that Mercedes are armed. We have to be very suspicious that perhaps they were. Not only the sound of that impact, but look at all these people running so quickly, so many of them. We're wondering if these suspects were screaming threats, whether they were armed. We're still waiting for information from the Sheriff's Department on that. But after these people went running into the street, somehow these 2 suspects wound up losing themselves in the crowd. We know one of them is wearing red pants. We know the other one is wearing a white hoodie. Not much of a description, but that's what we have to go on. Above the scene, the sheriff's chopper actually has been using its loudspeaker to let these people know that there are 2 suspects. And what the description is of these 2 males, but still they've not been brought into custody.
And just to go back to the original want here, we heard from sheriff's investigators that the original want was assault on a police officer. And we now know that whoever was driving that Mercedes, well, a deputy tried to stop the Mercedes. At some point during that stop, the driver backed up into the patrol car and then took off. That then resulted in that assault on a deputy. At this point, we don't know if these people were armed. We know that they led deputies on a pursuit for about 30 minutes before it ended right here. And that right there, that white car, that is the white Mercedes, the suspect vehicle. But Ross, it looks like they're putting up yellow tape now.
Yeah.
And you wonder if they're going to kind of evacuate this area and shut it down as they're looking for these suspects that are dangerous.
That's right. At this hour, all we know is 3 suspects are on the loose. The want is for an assault on a peace officer using a vehicle, a very serious charge at Union Station.
Yeah, this is the second time migrants were bused here without any notice. KCAL's
Lauren Posen is in Chinatown now with the story.
This is the second bus carrying migrants from the Texas-Mexico border to Los Angeles in just over 2 weeks. The migrants arrived in L.A. at about 12:30 this afternoon from Union Station and were brought here to St. Anthony's Church. The bus with 41 migrants from Brownsville, Texas, include children. Angelica Salas works for CHIRLA, the Coalition of Human Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles, and she says they were brought in to help when the migrants got here.